the Real News Network. I'm Sharmini Pires coming to you from Baltimore. Natural gas has become one of the most important natural resources in Israel-Palestine. It is a major divisive issue in Israeli politics. A new report by a Dutch organization reveals that Israel is stealing natural gas from the occupied Gaza Strip with the help of a Texas-based corporation, Noble Energy. A reservoir of natural gas was discovered in the year 2000 off the shore of Gaza Strip. They call it Gaza Marine. Back then, when the gas prices were much higher than they are today, the then Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon refused a request by a British gas company to help develop the field on behalf of the Palestinian government. Israel attacked the Gaza Strip in the winter of 2008-2009. A month later, the Israeli companies announced that natural gas is found off the shore of Haifa in Israel and later other areas in Israel's territorial waters. The U.S. corporation Noble Energy then teamed up with Israeli companies to build a drilling platform and exploit the natural gas. Meanwhile, everyone believed that the natural gas off the shore of Gaza remains untapped. The Israeli government planned on selling the gas to the new regime in Egypt, but then Egypt found its own reserves off its shores. Then Israel made a deal to sell the Israeli gas to Jordan, sparking massive demonstrations in Jordan opposing the deal. One issue that is almost not addressed is the matter of timing in all of this. The long-term trend in prices of natural gas is moving downwards. So while the Palestinians are waiting for permission to exploit their own natural gas resources, they are actually losing money. The new report published by the Dutch civil society research organization SOMO, titled Beneath Troubled Waters, brings forth evidence that Noble Energy has drilled natural gas in the vicinity of Gaza Marine, knowingly siphoning natural gas into the drilling platforms within the Israel's territorial waters and selling it as Israeli natural gas. The Israeli government now rushes to build a pipeline to sell the gas to Europe. Israeli Prime Minister of Energy, Yuval Sheinitz, met with European state reps last month to convince them to invest in the project. Let's listen to what he had to say.
If everything is going according to plan, it can happen in 2025. That's mean about 8 years from now. But we will try to speed up and to shorten timetable.
Our estimate today is for the pipeline to cost 5 billion euro to the Greek system and 6 billion euro to the Italian system.
Joining us to talk about all of this is Shir Hever. Shir is a Real News correspondent in Heidelberg, Germany, but he's been covering and following what's going on in Israel for a very long time. And he's, of course, from Israel and lived there for many years before moving to Germany. So thank you so much for joining us today, Shir.
Thanks for having me, Sharmini.
So Shir, one of the problems with this whole issue of the politics of natural gas is that already in 2009, various conspiracy theories popped up. How is it possible that Israel discovered natural gas right after the invasion of Gaza? Was it an attempt to take over Gaza's natural gas and so on? Now, however, the respectable research center in the Netherlands, SOMO, is showing hard evidence that the natural gas is being stolen. What evidence do they show in this report?
Yeah, so I think the conspiracy theories have been largely disproven. There's no evidence that the Israeli government planned in advance to somehow take over the Palestinian gas. And that had nothing to do with the invasion of Gaza in 2008-2009 or the subsequent invasions in 2011 and in 2014. However, what they do is they try to exploit the natural gas in the Israeli offshore waters very quickly. And the reason for the rush is the international boycott movement against Israel, BDS, which is already causing some decrease in the Israeli overall exports, especially in commodity exports. And even and some of that decrease in the exports is not because of the boycott movement, but because of other reasons, but it is interpreted within Israel as possibly tied to the BDS movement. So the Israeli government is very anxious and very desperate to sell their natural gas as fast as possible. That's why they signed this deal with Jordan for a very low price. Actually, Jordan got a massive discount. And what they're also doing with the help of the Texas company Noble Energy is to develop this natural gas at the very edge of the Israeli territorial waters, because they're just not willing to focus on the center of the territorial waters for now. And that there is one of these reservoirs right next to the Gaza territorial waters. It's called Noah. In that area, Gazans are not allowed, not only to exploit their gas, but not even allowed to fish or to sail. Just this Monday, a Palestinian fisherman by the name of Mohammed Bakr was shot and killed by the Israeli Navy, just because their only explanation is that he was seen further apart from the area where he's allowed to fish. And Noble Energy is now drilling gas right over there, right on the border. And SOMO have used a variety of experts, and the experts all agree you cannot simply drill for gas adjacent to another reservoir without some of that gas being siphoned from that reservoir. And therefore, according to international law, you have to have the permission of the other party, the owner of the natural resources, to drill. And in response to repeated requests by SOMO to Noble Energy to have clarifications on this issue, Noble Energy refused to answer.
Right. And besides, or in spite of the protests, I suppose, in Jordan, they're continuing to purchase the gas from Israel. Is that right?
Yes, and that is a last-minute deal done at the end of 2016 because the export data on 2016 showed a steep decline in commodity exports. Netanyahu himself pushed to authorize this deal with Jordan and gave Jordan a massive discount. So King Abdullah of Jordan decided to sign this deal, although it's very unpopular because he wanted this very cheap gas. And a very interesting thing, they have a special clause in this agreement between Israel and Jordan that in the event of some shortages in supply of natural gas, Israel has made a commitment to stop supply to its own citizens before it stops shipments of natural gas to Jordan. That is a very unusual clause in international agreements.
Right. So this is all to hook you, which is the audience who's listening to this. We're going to go into a segment 2 with Shir and discuss further the implications of this siphoning of natural gas from the Gaza Strip, off the shore of Gaza Strip, by Israeli companies and the U.S. companies, and how it's being sold. We'll continue in segment 2, and Shir, please join me then.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me here on the Real News Network.